when we first met, and how I went to go see your show over in Hartlepool at the North East College of Arts. Is that correct? Okay.
No, at the Northern School of Art, worked on building an interior for Apothecary, and you were like, I love that, and I was like,
well,
yeah.
But yeah, I was like really impressed because like looking at the fine detail and everything was thought about. My perspective looking forward was I'd love to be able to work with you on something like run down the line. Me then coming into Geek Retreat, and we had this big space. I had a few customers come to me to say they would love to play D&D at the shop, but there wasn't a private space for them at that time because we have got a very big open shop because we had plenty of space out back that wasn't doing anything other than being a storage space.
Yeah.
And then I approached you and said, would you be interested in building a dungeon room with me?
And then I got really excited.
And then we all got really excited and kinky.
Yeah.
But yes, but that as well, every time we mentioned somebody we're building a dungeon room, raised a lot of eyebrows and we had to explain to them, no, this is like family friendly. I know.
Yeah. Unfortunately.
I actually basically just do some concept designs. Because you said you didn't really have any kind of like background knowledge in any kind of fantasy or D&D.
Yeah, so you sort of like give me some like brief, like this is what they can do in, and then I took that and researched away. And
the concepts I saw were brilliant, and I think some of the kind of input that we had initially was like myself and Nathan, because Nathan's been involved in augmented reality, which is the immersive experience side of it. So we said we wanted to create that. We didn't want to just have a dungeon room for people to privately hire. We wanted to create an immersive experience to go with it. So even if you were just using it for private reasons, wherever they would be, you were still getting immersion when you came into the room. It felt like a completely different part of the shop. You then just came in and chalked on the floor.
A piece of chalk, it's going to go there and there.
Yeah. Then the next bit was literally just kind of getting cracking, wasn't it?
Because as much as I'd done construction stuff with like my classmates and in other places, it was always with other people. This was like the first time it was like pretty much independent.
Yeah.
Managed to get the construction done with the help of Brian. Thank you to that person.
When I saw the framework go up, like that was it. That was the room. Like,
yeah.
Even though there was no walls, essentially, like you could still walk through it. The framework was there, and I was like, I could literally see the room now.
It becomes reality then, doesn't it?
It was amazing.
It's happening.
Yeah. So the next bit was probably the long slog. It was the polystyrene and the etching and the plastering. It was that was probably the longest part of the process, really, wasn't it?
That one, it was. I had to like develop my own like mixture of plaster, so I needed it to be able to like be bashed around a bit and it not just chip away. So once I'd like finally found the mixture, I've done a few tests. It was just carving out the polystyrene, putting all the plaster on was the longest part of the project.
Yeah. I mean, so you got some help as well from Jacob, who helped out, so shout out to Jacob.
Yeah.
Nathan definitely did.
Nathan, Jacob, Shah.
You came in with these props that you worked on after you done your concept designs. These potion bottles. You came in with this box full of potions and regions.
Little trinket.
That was the start of the like immersive side of it, because it was amazing to see like you would put those effort into those little bits that were going to eventually be part of the room, even though they were miles away from being ready.
Yeah, I just needed, because it was getting stuck in like the part of it where it's like the pre-planning and all of the technical side. I was like, I need to do something with the artistic little fun things. So
yeah, that I remember showing that off to so many people as well. They're saying, "Oh, these are going to be in the dungeon room," and like people getting really excited with us. So that was really cool. So flash forward, maybe a month or so later, the plaster and everything was done. It was the brickwork was there, like the foundations were all there for the room to be ready to be painted, and that was probably the fun bit everybody was looking forward to.
I was so ready to get the paint on. I'm sick of looking at plaster. My hands were like dry as out.
Yeah, and it was. Once seeing that first, like it's had 3 or 4 coats and shades and tones and everything, like you knew exactly what you're doing, and the finished product was brilliant. Once the walls all stonified, that's a word.
Stonified?
We'll go stonified.
I'm pretty sure that's in the dictionary.
Yeah. At that point, I think that's when you asked your friend Mike if he would help us out to do our teaser trailer, because the room was not quite finished, but it was nearly there in terms of we can start getting all the flourishes and stuff in.
Yeah.
So the table was done, which again, this was an amazing piece of like transformation, beechwood.
Yeah, it was just like a plastic, like very modern plastic finish.
Yeah, it was not nice. But thank you, Luke and Kay, for donating. But you literally just sent me a message when I was at home, and then you said, "I've done this," and it was like amazing. So we said, let's do a teaser to get people excited for when we are ready, because we are getting there. We're getting to the peak. And we asked Kay to be our fortune teller. we had a kind of mini narrative ready to go with it. Mike came in, had a steam machine. It was brilliant setting, and then seeing the first like playback of some of the videos we did was like getting me goosebumps.
Yeah,
So it was like,
goody.
it's getting there. Like, this is awesome.
Yeah.
Immersive experience time. It was, we've got this idea for these premium campaigns that we can run. We can run our own sessions. People can come and use us to play a session for them. And have the whole room be really into the experience.
It's like tying it all to like storytelling. So a lot of production designers telling the story through like the visuals, isn't it? So developing like a character around what the like room would be used for, who would use it, what would be in there.
Yes, exactly.
All things like that tied into it, and then that helped us develop like, oh, maybe we could actually make the story part of like the immersive experience.
Yes.
And tie it into some D&D campaigns that we could write.
Absolutely. From that point, I think we then had a sit down between me, you, Jake, Emmy, even Shah had some input as well to help us, where we literally just bounced around a load of words. We got frustrated, we got angry, we got sad. There were plenty of emotions flying around, just trying to think of a word that would sell the room. Like, what is this room going to be called? Magic was probably a big influence for us and how they can travel through different planes of reality and universes. And then we said, why doesn't this room belong to a character of like, he was charismatic and he was like he can time travel and go between different worlds and experiences, and then we're like, that's Doctor Who. So trademark, we couldn't do Doctor Who. So we eventually came up with the M.A.D.S.T.A.R, which is the mystical archive for dimensional secrets and the Traveler's Arcane Retreat. Yeah, we finally got there, and I think that the words kind of put together were like star and magic.
We are the M.A.D.S.T.A.R.
We're the M.A.D.S.T.A.R. But yeah, it was amazing. So I kind of feel like, and again, that was the next moment of like, we're getting there. Like,
that's a relief after we named it. And then we were like, when we named it, we were like, oh, it's this. Yes. And we were like sort of buzzing about it.
I think once we were at the point where we had to do the final flourishes, we needed some kind of teleportation into it as well.
Yeah, like it pulls you into the story.
Yeah, absolutely. Right? Yeah, because I wanted to like have that in the shop anyway, where people would either walk around and buy things, or they'll come down and sit down and play games. An attraction somewhere in the shop that it will draw their eye to, and I think you just developed that idea perfectly.
If you didn't know the room existed when you come into the shop, you sort of like, what is that? It's so ominous, just sitting in the corner all lit up and stuff, and you want to just know more about it.
We had this idea of like a portal going into it. Once we had the narrative ready, we're like, oh, it's a portal because you're traveling between and going into his retreat. Faffed around with LED lights about 10 times. To make it look like it was a glowing portal, the tavern feel of it as well. We found that lamp when we went antique shopping.
All the started piecing together, didn't you?
Yeah, everything was then finally coming together. All the little bits were coming in. The antique shoppers were the fun bit of this room. And every little bit now tells a story, and it's absolutely amazing. Shopping with that Poundland to get like the Halloween decorations, because that was around the same time.
Yeah, and then I just like upgraded them so you wouldn't think they're from the pound shop.
Nah, exactly. And I got some fangs that were meant to go into like pumpkins as well. Nathan turned it into the mimic chest, the chest he got from his mum. Turned it into this, and then you were like, oh, I'm gonna make that better. So you rusted up the teeth, and I put the little eyeballs in, and it all really came together on these like little bits that could have their own story if customers asked. Yeah,
we wanted them to all be like it to be eclectic.
Yes,
eclectic, because the character that we like sort of developed that would use the room is being all over different dimensions, different places, and he would bring all that knowledge and like artifacts and stuff like that back to this room in his little hideout. So it's like, why did you bring this back? Oh, I don't know. Maybe
it's one of my foes.
Exactly. These are like BC could have like encountered and destroyed and things like that. And like with the weapons that we've got, Billy, Tony.
Billy, yes. The weapons are absolutely amazing. Concept to final design, the build, flourishes all coming in. We then decided on an opening date that we'd launch with. Administrative side of it wasn't 100% there because we weren't ready with the premium campaign experiences we were going to run, but we were ready for the room to sell it, I guess, to people coming in. I decided to ask our key D&D groups. We had at that point 5 or 6 regular groups that came every week, and then there was a group that actually approached me before to say that they would love a private room to be able to do it in. So when we eventually built it, they came down as well, and it was amazing. Everybody dressed up in there with a dragon.
That dragon was
the Dragon Knight was amazing. I think that was Nathan and Hannah. Hannah came as an elven archer. Robin came as a bard. Like there was so many different characters, and it was amazing to see everybody take the effort. There was also some new faces I've never met before, which was the guy who messaged me to say he was going to come as the Dark Knight, and I was really disappointed he didn't come as Batman. And on the night as well, we decided to not just like, here's the room, okay, bye. Like we didn't want it to just be that, so we wanted to create an immersive experience. Luke and Kay.
I killed a tree.
Luke's member of staff at the store, he's our magic goblin. Kay, who did the teaser trailer for us already, I said, would you love to recreate a character for the night and actually do a bit of acting this time? And she was like, chew my arm off. She said yes. She was like, yes, and it was brilliant. Like the response was like so enthusiastic, and I was like, oh, thank you. Like, I've really got this awesome idea. So with Luke being our magic goblin, it made sense for him to be a goblin for the night. Apprentice. So Kay was being a fortune teller. We were let in a few groups at a time, in small groups because of social distancing guidelines.
I would say like about the tests, like when I've been in this room when I was making it like every day for like 3 months pretty much, and then coming in on that test, it felt like I'd never been in it before. I was like seeing it like basically finished, and like with the fully immersed in it, I was like, this is amazing.
Yeah, they sold it, and then when it came to the night itself, and I let the few people in, I played like a barman for the night, just to kind of like sell the intro to the room. They were like stuck in that blacked out hallway for a bit with the UV and everything around. I had some like sounds going on to kind of get the serious and like kind of disorientate them. And I said, and when you're ready, just knock on the door. And then they were introduced to Squee, who let them in, and he had his little prop here, which is the thumbs up skeleton.
He's a lovable character.
He was a lovable rogue. It was amazing, and everybody came out with a different experience as well. So they improv was amazing. They did really well, and after that, once the kind of everybody had their experience, we had a big speech afterwards.
That was the first time I probably felt like the feedback on on that level. It was genuine like, I was like, what? We're doing this for like real people. It's not just like, was it just for us?
Yeah, exactly. So it was absolutely amazing. But then obviously, not even a week later, lockdown 2 it happened in the northeast, where we weren't even allowed to have people sitting in again. So it was bad timing. Obviously necessary. So we still haven't had a chance to really get the flow and the room being utilised how it's meant to be. And now we're in January, we're still waiting for that.
Seemingly never-ending waves of lockdowns and
exactly. But we know that we will eventually get there, which is why I wanted to have this discussion with you and to like kind of select everybody as well, just to say like the effort and time that we put into this from the concept to now, and what we have visualized going forward is exciting, like really exciting. Working with Jake, who's been our in-house DM from day one, I guess, really, because Emmy's partner, who's a member of staff, who's actually leaving us at the end of the month as well, unfortunately. Because I've watched him do some of his sessions, not creepily, but like I watched him.
Can't help but hear because it's so charismatic.
You can't. Like you hear him doing like the voices, and like you can see the groups engage, and so much so that he's got like 10 plus in his group alone. Like, and that's just unfounded in most D&D campaigns. And I said to him, like, would you be interested in doing these immersive experiences with us, where like you had your own campaign and you could be a part of the team, and we'll pay you for like every session you did. And then obviously Luke, on the other hand, because he was a really charismatic character already, and he has D&D experience being the DM, it just made sense that these two could be our not Planeswalker, Doctor Who, not Doctor Who.
Dimensional traveller.
Yes. Yeah, we wanted our own dimensional traveller guy to be the DM to run these private sessions, and each campaign was going to be his tales to tell. So Jake's already worked on the first campaign, which is ready, and we're going to be testing it soon, which is going to be a Jack the Ripper murder mystery. Luke is working on a eldritch horror type one, and then we're going to have a family friendly one as well, which will be more accessible, like PG rating. So yeah, that's what we've got looking forward to with the immersive experience side of it and the premium campaigns. And in the meantime, when we are eventually allowed to reopen and social distancing guidelines are relaxed as such, we should be able to have the room privately hired again for groups of 6. And there's plenty of room. There's the TV, so they can use it for their own media if they have anything. They can play whatever games they want in here. We've had Commander games in here, in Magic, which is, again, just adds to the experience regardless. Highly recommend doing that.
Yeah, and you can get access to the lighting, so you can put your own colour lighting on.
Exactly,
you can faff around and make your own. I mean, if you can make your own little story, but imagine whatever you want to imagine in this room. It's yours for the taking.
It's yours to do what you want.
Just don't take it. Don't actually take
You don't actually take it. We have done an inventory check. So
yeah, so we...
Please don't. Also, I just want to do one more shout out. The illustrations Kay did for us. Kay's an amazing artist as well as a good actress.
I think Emmy did one or two of them as well, and they've both been involved in making like the graphics for the actual campaign.
They
as well,
have,
because it's it's going to be pointing at the room, and then
we didn't want it to just be a case of like you're paying a premium price, which is not going to be like out of pocket premium price, kind of an escape room level kind of costing. So we wanted to do an entry level, I guess, version, which would be you come and do an experience and then you get something else from it. So it could be like a goodie bag or something to go with it. And then there'll be a premium version, which will be access to a gift shop style bundle.
Welcome, weary traveller. Before your adventure begins, let's see what fate has in store. The cards already know your fate before you yourself have even discovered it.